They'll lynch you, but he did, and he laughs at
Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are safe and well. It's the different kettle of fish. This is Colton Cole, Russie B. If you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody subscribe. Where the hell have you been if you've never seen us? Although, was it... It was Lee from the Shetland Isles called yesterday. He's only seen us from last week. Oh, dear. Anyway, I hope you're safe and well. Another victory. 4 in a row. 4 wins in a row. In 12 days. And with the visitors, and with us visiting Southampton, St Mary's at the weekend. Could it be 5? Oh, could it be 5 in just over 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks? Oh, I'll take that all day. Hope you're safe and well. Always easier when West Ham win, and it always easier. Hammers headlines tonight. I'll do a press conference, David Moore's press conference. Cornet's definitely out for just in terms of team news. Cornet is definitely out for the game against Southampton. He's not recovered from his thingamajig. What's it called? From his ankle, thigh, calf. That's the one. His calf injury, which is a shame. But yeah, can't be helped. So he's definitely out. And Kurt Zuma's got the sniffles. Poor Kurt. Oh dear. I hope he feels better. My heart bleeds. You know, some of us still turn up. You know, I was there yesterday. I got the sniffles. I got the colds. Anyway, I hope everyone is safe and well. I'm actually waiting for this live, says EBF and Co. We're a little bit early today. I do appreciate it. I have to take the dog to go and get groomed. First world problems, I know. And I've got to pick the car up from the MOT. So, expensive day for the Bunn household today. Toby's in the house. Irons, hope you're well. Darren's here as well. Morning all. Thought these Belgian fans would have been used to the cold. Lucky they didn't draw Stoke. Indeed. Yeah, strange atmosphere. Particularly the last 25 minutes was a bit strange, just to be honest. It was a little bit strange, that last 25 minutes. And I think many people spent... I don't think a lot of people looked at the football for the last sort of 25 minutes, to be honest. I think the crowd itself was probably more interesting. I feel sorry for the Bournemouth fans on Monday after next, because where are they going to sit? They were so... they have to bring their own deck chairs. They're Bournemouth. They're at the seaside. They probably got pull-up chairs anyway. Might as well bring them along for Monday. But yeah, it's a bit crazy. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I appreciate every one of you, my friends. Mitch, good afternoon to you. Good morning to you. So what we do always, for those of you who are new, the day after, the night before... we present the ratings, basically. I give you my ratings, you give me yours. Usually yours are more in line. Mine are usually a bit too harsh or too relaxed, if that makes sense. I think that the takeaway for me yesterday, speaking to a lot of fans, go back and check it after the game. We did the highlights show. We got a few of the guys around from around the stadium. Peter Jones, friend of the channel, member of the channel, got chatting to him for about two minutes, and as well as the guys from the Let's Have a Disco DJs. They're the guys who do the Heineken bar and the Outside Heineken and the club shop as well, pre-match. So chatted to Simon and Razor and people like that as well, which was nice. But the view was a win was a win. A win was a win, and it is. You know, we've progressed into the next stage. We've qualified out of the groups. I believe we only need a point against Silkeborg next Thursday after next to progress as in top spot. Silkeborg have to come to the London Stadium to win, so it's going to be there's going to be goals. There's going to be goals in that game because they'll leave themselves open at the back. They have to come forward. I mean, obviously they've put 10 goals in the last 2 games for FCSB, home and away 5-0. So. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Super Russie B, indeed, Sharky. Thank you very much, my friend. Tell Hell he'll play mostly. Think he'll play mostly. No. I think when we have a week off basically, because next week we've got Liverpool midweek. There's midweek fixtures. and then we play the following Monday, Thursday, both at home, Bournemouth, and then we play Silkeborg. I think Moyes will have he'll play a strong side for that Silkeborg game as well. And then for the FCSB, if we get the point, if we qualify, that's all we need is 1 point. Then when we're away to Bucharest, I think he'll send out the kids, personally. But that's just me. We'll see. But I don't think he always likes to do that because by then, hopefully, I'd imagine someone like a Ged probably fit. He'd want game time. Areola, you want to keep him fit. You want to keep him playing. The likes of Emerson, Lanzini, Downs, Coventry. These all want game time as well. So I don't think he'll be like West Ham versus Nottingham Forest, that Big Sam when they lost like 4-5-0. It won't be that type of team. It'll be a decent first 11 with all Premier League experience, with maybe a few more youngsters than we usually would have in the round. Maybe you might put Mbawa in, for example, up front. Why not? Give them a go, and save Skamaka and Antonio. Anyway. Regardless of that, let's talk about ratings. So we go through the players. I give you my ratings. You give me yours. That's it. There might not be as much interaction today because we're doing it a little bit earlier, but give you guys the opportunity who are in the chat to get some comments in, which is nice for a change because usually everyone wants them. There's so many comments. Let's start with Mr. Aliola. Obviously making his 6th start of the season. That's a lot, isn't it? 6. Yeah, it doesn't seem so much. I think it seems a lot for Areola, where we were last year, and how he didn't. But he must have still played 20 odd games last season. And obviously, last week we had the heroic save for the 1-0 victory in Anderlecht last week. The last sort of minute stopper from Fabio Silva's header last week. To be honest, he didn't really do much. Didn't really have much to do. Let's be honest, he didn't. Anderlecht didn't have a lot of chances in the first half. I think we nullified them. He tipped one over the bar, I think. Another was going wide already, but he saved it. Second half, again, quiet. And obviously Esposito, scored the penalty. It's a bit of a soft penalty, as we know. Did we do much? But that's not a bad thing. When your goalkeeper's not busy, that means you've had a good game. So we say. The Anderlecht fans were making a nuisance themselves, I was told. Yes, they were. Even pre-match, they'd kicked off in the cow, apparently pre-match. I'd like to see Skamaka together for half. I think we all would, mate. Morning, Papa. Hope you're well. 10 for sending that for a hot dog. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. So, yeah, for those who didn't see the Areola, there's an Anderlecht guy comes on the pitch, and Areola just like drags back, and that's him, doesn't even like a kipper. We've got it on our short channel, so check it out. So 6, decent. Areola 7. It's no surprise. I've just gone for a 7. He didn't do anything to warrant anything less, I don't think. Maybe a 6, but yeah, he did all right, didn't he? Did all right. Let's talk about Vladimir. Vladimir Soufal. What we got is 7. 7, did well, quiet job at the job. Yeah, exactly. Morning, Phil. Hope you are, my friend. Great when you indeed. Toby gave him 7 as well. Let's talk about Vladimir. Let's talk about Vlad the Impaler. Obviously, used again as a right wing back, which I think I prefer him as a right wing back than a right back, in all honesty. And obviously, he was part of that move, wasn't it, which set up Skamaka's goal for the reverse fixture last week. Attacked well, I thought. Some good runs. To be honest, he did some really good runs throughout. Because obviously, from my vantage point, I can see quite a lot. And actually, he was doing some really, really, really good runs, but no one was bloody passing to him. He was constantly out on that right side. He was he didn't really. I mean, when he got the ball, there wasn't really much he did, to be honest. There wasn't much. But, he got the assist. He should have got the assist in the second half as he sort of waited to pick Bowen out, but Bowen couldn't finish. I thought he played all right. 7 is a good rating. 7 for Vlad. Pretty solid. Why does he never shoot? Yeah, he should have. Second half, he could have shot, didn't he? But he cut back inside. 7-6 passing still off. Yeah, agreed. Best game for a while. Worked hard, attacked well. He wasn't really given much defending, really, in all honesty, was he? Anzac didn't really possess a lot in terms of that right side or that left side, really. 7-7-7. I actually gave him a little bit, maybe harsh. I gave him a 6. But it was a good game. People don't trust him with the ball. He can't whip in the ball for toffee, and he's hesitant with the ball. There we go. And Dave from Brisbane gives him a 7 as well. Hope you're well, Dave. Good to see you, man. Let's move on like Donkey Kong. Let's go and talk about Benny Boy Johnson. Obviously, they played a back three, and he's played that sort of right centre back in the trio again. And he was, the first game in Anderlecht, I thought he was very, very strong. Really, really strong, I thought. Quiet first half yesterday. Positioning. I find him quite calming influence, despite the fact he's so young. The penalty, we've had a few contentious goals in the Conference League, which would have probably been ruled out for VAR if VAR was included. Obviously, VAR isn't included, but then I saw them test goal line technology yesterday, but I thought none of it is. Maybe it's just VAR, but anyway, none of it's until the final. But what I understand, I thought it was harsh, that penalty, because he won the ball, but it gave him a little bit of hope at the end. It was an okay game for Benny. He's Benny. The injuries to the centre backs throughout made it a little bit. He had about 3 or 4 different centre back partnerships, but I thought he had a good game. Big Russ, how's it going? Very well, my mate. Hope you're well. Phil's going to be at 7, 6, 7. I've just hit the like button. How about you lot? Nice. Hit the like button. Be like Darren. Hashtag be like Darren. Good game. No, it's a penalty. Thought Duke did all right. A few silly balls. 6. No half points in this game, Phil. You should know that. 7. Penalty was harsh. 8 for me. Unfortunately, for penalties, looked like a good centre half. Indeed, the penalty was a joke, but we won, so I take that. We totally agree. 7. Not his preferred position. Russie B. What did Russie? I can't remember. I gave him. Gave him a 6. Did all right. Again, nothing spectacular. But then again, it ain't too shabby when the goalkeepers and the defenders don't have a lot of defending to do. That means we're doing something right, or the opposition are really shit. It's more like either second than the first. Let's talk about Oggy quick. Obviously, role change. He was captain last week, but not this week, and sort of moving from sort of left of that back three when he was captain to the centre, and obviously Aaron coming on the left. So again, slightly different positioning. Didn't do a lot wrong. Found himself, obviously he got injured, so not really much you can say about him. I mean, I wouldn't worry too many about putting about too many scores. I mean, I just gave him. I thought it was all right, 6. I mean, it's not really much to say about him, really, to be honest. Didn't do anything to warrant anything less when he was only on for a short amount of time, obviously. Let's have a quick look at the comments. Quick. If halves were allowed, I'd give him 6 overhyped. Thought you were at 12. Not today, no. I've got to Pete, go back. I've got to take the dog to get groomed. I've got to pick up the car for the MOT. Expensive. Russ, if Dawson's out, would you start Johnson or Soufal? Right back for me, Johnson, as he's better than Soufal. Yeah. I agree. 5 for bet, stitched up by the ref. 6 for Oggy. Worried about Oggy. He was playing okay, but getting his injury. He is, but he's big. But I think he's not our. You got to think also Vigard coming back in. He's going to be fifth choice, really. If he puts Kira in the centre, if you include him, looked good until he went off. Yeah, he did. 7, 6. That's why I gave him a 6. It's all about the man with the magic cat, our club vice captain and captain for the night, or until Deck came on. Obviously, starting left centre back. That's my preferred position for him now. For me, he's not a left back anymore. I think that's an area I would really like to strengthen quite considerably if we can in January. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was really good. I thought Crespo had a very, very good game. I mean, he's Very for that's why I like him as a centre back, because he's so used to bombing forward as a left back. It's now having that as a you've always got that left hand side. There's so much. There could be so much going forward. He's playing really well. I think he was there's a couple of times where I think there was one where he made like a 70-yard run and Piquet didn't pick him out for the pass. Obviously created a really good chance for Bowen where he should have scored to make it 3 before the break. Obviously he swung and missed in the old Bowen. Taken off second half. And I think we struggled a bit more for consistency when he came off, to be honest. And so it just shows how well he's playing at the moment. He's got a bit of a vein of form at the moment. Can we move Rice back and play Downs? Possibly. Hopefully, I don't think it'll come to that, but there we go. But it's good to know we've got options there, haven't we? 7, 8 played bloody well. 7, 7, 7 plus. 8 was composed as Dave. He has a magic hat on last night. 8, 7 for Cress. 8. And actually, technically, you could put him down for the assist for Ben Rama's goal because he did the dummy and that moved a player out the way, which Ben Rama then went and hit in. I'm going to give him an assist. 7 done really well. Russie B also gave him a 7. 7. Let's move on. Let's talk about Emerson. Obviously, he hasn't played very often this season, but when he does play, tends to play more on the attacking, like as a left wing back or left wing, really. He was definitely able to attack a lot more than he did last week. He was almost quite defensively sort of last week, but this week was even better, in my opinion. Got forward well. Obviously teed up Bowen for the goal for make it 2-0. And we got a lot of joy down the left wing. And I think him and Cresswell and then Ben Rama as well. There's a real very strong left side attacking threat in my opinion. And then to be honest, it just shows fair play to him. Played the sort of the second bit of the second half as left centre back in the back three. He dropped in. I think it was one of his best performances for us so far. He's definitely starting to get into it a little bit, and you see the way he interacts with Moyes. When there was a break in play and Ben Johnson, he was talking to Moyes and Moyes was nodding like he understood him and what he was saying was good. So that helps as well. Emerson, Lake and Palm, very good. 7. 7, 6 play with heart on your right was good as a back. Yeah, he was. 6 Emma 7, very good. Phil 7. Lightweight moves forward, another solid performance. Strength was our squad. 7, 7, 7, 7. Unsurprisingly, Russie also gives him a 7. We're on par. I like it. Let's talk about Flynn. Flynniesta. Let's talk about Flynniesta. Trying to get trending. Flynniesta. Now let me talk about him. Best player on the pitch last week. Best player on the pitch this week, I think. I really genuinely do. 2 man of the match performances back to back. Same midfield pairing with Manu. Really good in midfield. Broke up play. First half, absolutely bossed that midfield. They didn't have nothing. John on Claret and Booze. Check them out. John and Nick did a review show, which they did last night, but they did it this morning, which was brilliant. And John made a fantastic point. He said that Flynn keeps asking for the ball. He's running and wants the ball. And he went, Tommy, don't do that. Suchek, don't do that. He almost hides away from getting the ball, but Flynn wants the ball. He wants to get involved. I was talking to Brian Deere, I was talking to Stag as he was walking back to the station, and he was so impressed. He goes, that he calls him the number 12, just like my granddad. He didn't even remember the players' names but the numbers. Our number 12 is brilliant, isn't he? I said, yeah. He needs to get rid of that Tommy Suchek. And then so Tommy Suchek, get rid of him for Flynn Downs. We know it's not gonna happen unless there's a serious injury to Suchek coming out. I think because Moyes likes what Suchek brings. Although I think Flynn brings you more, in all honesty. And I think, you're coming up against a good midfield at Southampton. You've got things like James Ward-Prowse. I think Flynn could do a right good number on him. Obviously, colliding with Dawson as well, which led Dawson. Flynn Down is so good. He gets Craig Dawson injured. How many times has Craig Dawson got off injured? It's crazy. But I thought it was exceptional. Let's see what we got here. So some lovely scores here. 8, 9 second half. Yeah, 8, 9 for me. 9. What a player he's going to be. Totally agree. Reminds me of Scott Parker a bit from last night. Yep. He does remind me of a young Declan Rice. When all he did was simple stuff. Break it up. Wants the balls, played it simple, and then Dec developed into this sort of, and but Flynn's only like 2 weeks younger than Declan Rice or something like that. So I see him as a boy, but he's not a boy at all. 9, 9, 9. He's not younger. Flynnzinho, yeah, I think Flynniesta is better. 8, 9, great to see him playing. Can handle the job. He should be playing the Premier League, indeed. He should be, but I don't think he will be. Not this week, that's for sure. Russie B gave him man a match, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. To be honest, he should have scored actually in the first game, and he had a chance to, but he sort of played it back instead rather than go for the shot. We did that quite a lot. A few chances we could have, tested the goalkeeper a little bit, but we didn't. Manu. Moisey spoke about in this pre-match press conference, the Anderlecht game, how he didn't see Lanzini as a 10 anymore, but he saw him more as an 8, sort of central. And you can see that's the position that he likes him to play. Obviously doing the same thing again in terms of how he played against Anderlecht. I think, that's an area which I think we need to look at a little bit more, in my opinion, is we haven't been scoring a lot from that sort of central midfield position. Flynn, Lanzini, Declan, Souček. Have they scored any goals this season? Maybe one between them. Maybe 1 or 2 between them. So, that's an area I think he's looking to improve, definitely, in terms of getting goals from that side. First half was very quiet. Anton said yesterday that he, during the watch along, didn't really hear him talk about Flynn quite a lot. In terms of the commentator, but Manu not really. Did a lot of running about, a lot of moving players by making runs. Involved in more, obviously second half. I created a chance for 4 now, I think it was in the second half. But yeah, no, I think he's fourth choice in our midfield, isn't he, at the moment? 6, 7. Get it. I know, I'm really itchy ear, Pete. Might have to get it syringed again. Not syringed, micro sucked. Have you ever had that done? Micro sucked. Oh, it's amazing. They put this, like, you can see it on YouTube. Honestly, I'm addicted to them. Addicted to those videos. And they put this, like, really thin tube in, and it's like, and it sucks out all the, it's like heaven. I love it. I'm going to have to get it done again soon. Because I feels like there's something in there. You're saying about Downs not shooting. Maybe he's learned it. He's done it in the last, and Scam Shatley even told him to pass the ball. He said maybe 6, 7, 6, 7, 7, 6. Russie B gave Manu a 6. Let's move on like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Benny. Let's talk about Benny Rama. Some sort of, last week, he sort of chance of redemption, a chance to break into that sort of left-hand side in the Premier League. He didn't take it against it last week. This week, totally different. He turned up like he was ready to play. And I think it's because of our structure yesterday. We didn't have a dedicated striker, so there was a lot of fluidity. The game was really open, and that's where Ben Rama comes out of his shell, is when when it's tight and maybe a Manu's better because he can find those little pockets and like those little passes, or Paqueta particularly because he's got sticky feet. But Benny, when the game is open and sparse and it's stretched, that's when he's good. And he wants the ball. He was coming back. He kept on wanting it. Obviously, fantastic free kick after about 14-15 minutes, which makes up for the complete sitter he missed last week. Great free kick, which he won himself, which is great. I thought he linked up really well with Cresswell, Emerson. Nice little understandings there. Created, it was a good chance for 4 nows in the second half as well. Got a full 90 minutes. When was the last time Benny played 90 minutes without being subbed? He just needs that consistency. The second half, I think, as he was getting tired in the game and they were chasing the game, seemed to have a few more passes go astray. Which you could see frustrated Moisey a little bit. That's the only thing. He'll do brilliantly, and then he'll It's so frustrating sometimes with Benny. Let's see what we got here. I was really struggling to walk in the game. Anyone heard how he is? No, nothing from me, Rich. No longer attacking option. The players we have, but still considered whole. That's Lanzini, 7 for Lanzini. I'm hopefully going to try and get to my first dot in a year today. Good luck. Good luck. Due to long... Come on, Darlington. Come on, Ian. Good luck. Let us know how you get on, mate. 8 for Ben Rama. 7, 8. 8 for the Wizard. Creative Genius. 7, 6, and then 5. So that's an average of 7. 7, 8. Played brilliantly. Pass was almost man of match for me. My man match last night. Absolutely controlled the game. Great balance. Great free kick goal, almost another in the second half. 8, can see him doing a job against his Saints. Potential impact signing. Benny's best game this season, but he did tire in the second half. He shouldn't have done the shush celebration. Moyes won't be happy. Didn't get off his seat, did he? Go and watch the replay. Didn't get off his seat when he scored. Benny was brilliant. 8. Rusty B, slightly less. I gave him a 7. I was in line with Simon Rogers. Because for me, it was like the first half he was brilliant, but the second half he wasn't. So the average, if he gave him a 9 and a 5 in the second half, then the average would have been about 7. So there we go. That's what I did. Let's move on. Let's talk about Lucas Paqueta. Obviously, Antonio had the sniffles. Poor diddums. Zuma's got the sniffles as well, says Moyes in his press conference today. Poor Zuma. Hope you have a hot water bottle. Obviously, Skamaka was on the bench, so Paqueta started in sort of it was sort of false 9, wasn't it, really? He was all over. I mean, it kept on moving. He's played that position before for Brazil, interestingly enough. So it's good to see there's options there. Some good trickery. As sort of this sitting striker. He sort of floated. I like it when he floats. Again, it's having that ability for him to just link up the play between the midfield and the attackers. That's his niche, and that's where his niche is. Kept the ball in really tight situations, and then would lay it through to Ben Rama. He had runners on both sides of Ben Rama and Bowen, who then won the free kick after a little pass through from Paqueta, who scored. Well, obviously Ben had scored. Booked towards the second end of the first half. I think it was a bit of afters of him and Diawara from last game, to be honest. Taking off half time. Clearly, Moisey thought 2-0 up, job done. Take him off, bring on 4 now for 1.5, and rest him. So, yeah, I think the plan wasn't to play him yesterday, but because of Antonio's sniffles, he needed that a striker, a forward position player, and then, job done. Take him off. Let's see what we've got in the chat. We've got 6 was shout out, 7, 8 for me. Not bad. Great link-up play. Played well. 7. Game went flat when he came off. Agreed. 7 got yellow, so had to take him off half time. But also, I think they just took him off to rest him anyway. 7. More hits than the opposition. No protection from the ref. 6 as only a half. 6. 7, first half, Sean. Yep, totally agree. Starting a future alongside Skamaka. I gave him a 7 as well, because he just seemed to just be involved in all this link-up play, which I loved. Let's talk about Jared. Since the international break, where he didn't play any minutes, he's the only player who started all 4 games for us, which, for me, I think it's Moyes' mission to get him on the plane for Qatar. That's what I think it is. And he's playing well. So, because we haven't really got many right-sided options anyway, in all honesty, in terms of right wings. Cornet can play there, but he's mainly going to be used as left and cut inside. So, for me, it was a case of, I think Moyes has got his personal project to get him on the plane for Qatar. And he has come back completely different, this player. He didn't play a single minute. He probably really sort of put the cat amongst the pigeons of himself, and he's come back absolutely amazing. He's getting back to the levels we know he can be. And Moyes talks about him quite a lot in his press conference this afternoon. So check that out. Interesting in terms of I think also Moyes in his press conference gives a little hint in terms of how he sees Bowen developing his game and in what position. So that's quite interesting. Obviously, he scored a great goal, got 3 touches in the box, as Holly said. That's very unusual to set himself up, look bright. And then when about half an hour to go, Moisey reshuffled and took him off. Obviously keeping him for the Southampton game. But I thought he played really well. Eight, back to his best. 8, vast improvement. Long may it continue. Smashing great super. He's back, getting back to his best. He's running at players. Scored a peach. Air shot should have been 2 indeed. You're very late to the party. Go back and check it all out, Ralph. Russie B, we've got 8 for Phil. Russie B has given him a 7. Actually, it's harsh. I'll give him an 8. That is harsh. For me. I'll give him an 8. But maybe because of the air shot. He should have scored that, to be honest. Salam alaikum. Hope you're well. Hope you're Fred. Hope you're well. You gave him an 8. Finished. Ran his socks off. His form is back, which is great. We're starting to get back in it. Hey lads, hope you're well. Let's talk about Craig. Obviously came on the rest for Dawson. Only took 20 minutes before he came on for Angelo Bonner. Just don't put a foot wrong, does he? Let's be honest, Dawson don't. Very, very rarely does he put a foot wrong. He reads the game exceedingly well. When you look at someone like Maguire playing for Man United and getting in the squad, and you know what you're going to get with Dawes. You know what you're going to get. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, when he went off, we didn't look as good, and we looked a bit more shaky at the back. But I thought he was great. He's been brilliant. He's come again. Setbacks. You've had Bowen's had a setback in terms of his form. This guy was ready to leave about a month ago. And now now we're sweating on him for the Southampton game. Do you know what I mean? I think Anderlecht was very poor, yet did well when he came on. Hopefully it was the impact of him. It does sound like a dead leg. The fact is he carried on playing, so that's always a sign, and while they were warming people up. If it was that serious, he'd have come off straight away, like Oggy off Dawson on. It was quite a serious one. 7. Let's hope Les is okay. Solid over. 6 wasn't really troubled. Lads, go back and check it out. I have to. I've got to take the dog to get her groomed. I've got to pick up the car for the MOT. It's a very expensive day. 7. I could hear the heads colliding when he. Oh dear. Hope he's okay. Moyes said dead leg. 7 minutes game and got silver taken off. He did. Shame about the dead leg. Well, they said the Kira situation. I think maybe he's got a bit of a knock, or he's got a bit of a cold as well. I imagine he'll be back in for Sunday rather. There wasn't really anything. He talked about what did he talk about? He said it. I'm just going to find the. He said. The TLO situation, we took a precaution on him, so maybe he had a dead leg or something like that. He's a rock. He stays in January. Injury's not bad enough according to Moyes. So him against Liverpool next week as well. You're totally right. In Spain, you only MOT every 2 years. Well, there you go. Here it's every year, unless you've got a 3-year-old, car less than 3 years old. So one car does need to be, but the other car does need to be. I gave Ballon 8-7. A strong 7. Let's talk about Fornals. Obviously came on at half time to replace Paqueta. Moisey, was that's it, as part, and so he threw him in. He threw him in as part of this sort of fluid front three, and starting sort of the pressing forwards, sort of the number 10. Should have scored his second goal of the season, in all honesty, but his shot was sort of parried by the defender who sort of diving in the last second. Should have scored that. Pressed well, I thought, created a couple of good chances for Skamaka at the end. And then played, and what I like about Fornals is his adjustability. Everyone moved around a bit when Dawson got injured, and played sort of left wing back, which is a position I think he could play quite well in, to be honest, because he just keeps on running. I thought he played all right. Dead leg. Can we glue Will to his leg? We should do. We have been doing the ratings, Mandy. The players were wearing masks coming in. Something going around. No, it's Europa. It's for all Europa League games. And conference games, league games, and Champions League, because of the different quarantine rules in all the European countries. Everyone has to wear it. So if you're doing anything in the press lounge or the media stuff, or the team, you have to wear the masks. That's all it is. It's not, obviously, it's on the rise a little bit. Matt's had it. and a few others. Andy's had it, we know, and it's winter, so people do get more colds. But no, it's not anything unusual for any European games, mate. So don't worry about that. 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7 plays better centrally. 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 7. Busy B Pablo indeed. Elbow, El Cockney. Rushy B game was 6. Let's move on like Donkey Kong and talk about Declan Rice. Obviously, he came on alongside Skamaka, replaced Aaron Cresswell. That saw him play back in his old position, back in centre-back, playing the left side of the centre-back trio, which I think made that the third centre-back pairing partnership that Ben Johnson had that whole game. And there was one more to come anyway. No, it wasn't. No, that was it. No, it was one more to come, actually. Yeah, it was one more to come. He had 4. I think he had 4, didn't he? He started with Bonner, then Dawson, then Rice, and then Emerson at the end. So, fair play, Ben Johnson. He got booked straight away, and it's silly booking. I think we need to watch out with those. I haven't done the booking. I think a couple of players, you need 3 bookings before you're suspended, and a couple of players I think are now on 2 bookings. So it might be worth getting suspended, getting another booking for the Siltball game. Not saying do it deliberately, but get another booking for the Siltball game. Then you miss the Bucharest game, which is going to be dead rubber anyway, and then you're fit for the 16s. Tactics, Budden's tactics, but yeah. I mean, again, shows the fact is he can slot in there, and if push ever did come to shove, that is an option. It's not an option I want us to take, because I think he's far more effective in the midfield, but it's an option, isn't it? It's an option. What we got here? 6, 6 looks pretty awesome. More rest. That's what people say. He does that probably more, but I think there's more centre backs who could do that job. There's very few people who can do his job in midfield. 6, 5, can't really judge him. 6, 7, Uncle Ben 6, 6, 6 had an out, but he did 4 bookings. So I think we need to look at that for the Siltball game and do a couple of tactical fouls. I'm not just saying we should, but you got to play the game, innit? You got to play the game. Comfortable in centre back position on left hand side, accomplished. He did. Russie B gave him a 6 as well, like Toby. Hashtag be like Toby. Let's talk about Skamaka. Obviously came on with Declan, trying to, I think he obviously didn't start in the starting lineup, was rested, and very similar to the game last week, was thrown on with a half an hour to go. Came on for Bowen. Sort of started on the left, on the right. It was really weird. He sort of, so I don't think there was really a position for him to start off with. Didn't get too many chances, to be fair. Not many chances. One cross at the back post from Fornals. People bounced awkwardly. Could only sort of turn the ball over, but that was really it. It wasn't really much else, to be honest, with Skamaka. Very quiet, but he'll be ready for Southampton. Looking forward to that one. So Russie B gave him a 6. A 6. And who else? What was the other scores? We had quite rare for it to be as incomplete. No, very true, but very unusual. But it's not as for Declan in that position. I think there's other players who could do a good job, but if he's in that position, he's more influential, in my opinion, in that central role. Central midfield, that's what I'm trying to say. The Macca 5, 6. Antonio's got a cold. Thought he had a quiet game. Can't blame him. 6, 5. Still feel it's no, totally right. 6 generous. Went off. Yep, you totally agree. 5 smashing Southampton. We go up. Says Brandon. Good on you. Talking to some friendly possible during the World Cup. Could be. I think there will be. I think there'll have to be. Pete, to be honest. The likes of. I think I worked out there's 6 or 7 players will be on international duty. So I have a squad of 20 plus the under 23s and stuff like that. That's not a huge number. And we want that team to be ready for that first game back. Do you know what I mean? After the Boxing Day game, the Arsenal game, innit? Which is live on Prime, Amazon Prime. Same as Wednesday's game against Liverpool. So they'll have to be, won't they? there'll have to be a couple of friendly games, Orient or Ipswich or whatever, those type of games we always play in it, just to keep the boys ticking over. And don't forget, then we've only got a week or so, then the January transfer window starts. Had to play main striker, tried but not as effective, agreed. Mentioned the other days of raging friendlies. I think all clubs will be, Mitch. Unlike the likes of like Man City, pretty much everyone apart from Haaland, I reckon, is on the internet. He's going to be at the World Cup. But still, you want them still keeping fit, because these guys are going to be. So even if you're going into the World Cup, you're going to be playing half a dozen games. So you should really be up there. It's a long time. You're totally right. It's almost like starting a pre-season. It's almost like a mini pre-season. They're probably giving them a week off, I reckon, because we've had a hell of a lot of games, a week or so, 10 days maybe, because there's a hell of a lot of games in October, November. So they'll be knackered. Give them a little rest. And also, a lot of these players may all still be playing. I imagine they probably would they do warm-up games for the World Cup? So are England playing warm-up games? Maybe. Left-sided Polish centre-back being looked at. Is that the... is that Kiwau? I don't know, but anyway. The Italian plays for Spezia. Have I got Tommy Souček? I can't remember if I put Souček in. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's talk about Souček quickly. 15 minutes he came on for. Yeah. I thought he was going to be playing centre. I thought he was going to play centre back for a minute, and I thought Luke Bailey was going to have an absolute wet dream beat him. Obviously, they went to sort of 3 in midfield. Gives the ball away. He just don't think he played very, very well. I gave a 5. Didn't we do much, to be perfectly frank, did he? To be perfectly frank, didn't we do much at all? Did all right. There we go. Only thing I'm worried about is we're hitting form when we come back. I don't want us to lose, but when COVID came and we came back, we did. I think there's learnings to be made from there, Rich. Should have scored, actually. You got a good shot at the end. Yeah, great shout. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Short and sweet. We're not that short. It's been almost 45 minutes. As I said, we'll be back with Hammer's headlines later on today, with the press conference for the Southampton game. All the stuff we'll have Holly's stuff coming up as well. We'll have we've got the late show with Tommy tonight as well, I think. All that good stuff. I'll tell you what we'll do quickly before I go, because I have to dash into 2 seconds. We've got for anyone who's a channel member, they get entered into our prize draws, which is I thought the ref was all right at first half. I thought the ref played quite well first half. Definitely for us. The penalty, though. Yeah, the penalty. But we got quite a few fouls, I thought. Anyway, what we do is we do a prize draw every month for a bit of West Ham memorabilia. Tonight we have... If Narky's in the chat, I'm literally going to send I've got your thing to send today, so I can send that. What we got here? Let's have a quick look. We have got a West Ham notebook signed by Matty Jarvis, in that famous shirt that he took the picture of eating breakfast, if you remember. So these are available on Amazon. Check them out. We've got loads on Amazon. We've got like that one. That's like that one, and we got absolutely loads. This one, I like that one. Check them out. Anyway, so we've got this one here, which is signed by Matt Jarvis. So that will be going to one lucky viewer, one lucky channel member. If you want to be involved, if you become a channel member, you get automatically entered into these prize draws. So you don't have to do anything apart from just renew. So let's spin the wheel. While we're doing that, we were calling for Moyes. Exactly 3 out of 4 indeed. No doubt we'll get a final trouble, and it's cool. But they were doing trouble from the beginning. Ladders, I think it was the cow they smashed up. Why the cow? Just because the nearest. Let's see who's going to win this one. The winner will be. Will it be Toby? Will it be Papa? No. Will it be Smudger? Will it be Ryan? Probably. Will it be Ryan? Ryan Wade. Well done, Ryan. If you're in the chat, fantastic. If not, if you could email us at West Ham network@gmail.com, we'll get that sent out to you straight away. Congratulations. As I said, if you want to get involved, make sure you become a subscriber, a channel member rather, by clicking the join button down there, and you get automatically entered into it. We try them every month or so. Anyway, so take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see you back at 5 o'clock today. As always, we like to take all of our channel members in the chat and at the end. So bye and see you soon.
It's like a family tree, all of you.